is episode 4. My name is Juanita, and I am the maker behind Woolly Bean. Woolly Bean, I sell knitting bags, project bags, bags for any kind of storage, and then I'm a knitter and a sewer, and so I'm a maker. I don't know. I'm a mom, a wife, and I don't know what else. Other things, I'm sure. But you can find me on Instagram if this is your first time visiting. Welcome. And you'll find me on Instagram under woolly.bean, and on Ravelry. I'm usually pretty good about posting my projects on there with my notes and stuff. And you can find me under JJ Doucette. So check those out. I also have a website now. I can't remember if I did on the last podcast. I think it was new. I think I had just opened it up. So it's here, woollybean.com, very easy. And just make sure you put 2 L's. I find that some people don't spell it with, I don't know. I know it's not usual. And I guess I can tell you the meaning behind the name. When I first started out, I only learned to knit about 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. And it was before I had any kids. At that time, somehow I didn't have any hobbies. Like, all I did was read. That was my one hobby, and watch Star Trek. My husband and I were full-time Bible teachers, and we lived in a very small house, and we kept a pretty tight schedule, so I didn't have a lot of downtime when I was at home. I cleaned and organized, and I learned to knit. I think technically, I might have shared this before how I learned it, but so we'll not go into that too much. But the meaning behind the name, when I was 25, which I'm 31 now, when I was 25, we had a surprise pregnancy. That was our first kid, our son, and we called him Bean. So I was a new knitter and knit him. I think the first hat I knit him, it didn't fit, and then the second hat, which was all acrylic, which is embarrassing now. And I've become a yarn snob, and I don't remember if I even knit him any sweaters or anything. But after him, especially after him, like being a new mom, the quiet time when he was sleeping, I really got into knitting. And I, from that moment on, once I had him, I stayed home. So I started knitting a lot of baby hats, and I started an Etsy shop. I don't really remember why. Probably just for supplemental income or something, but something to do. And I named it Woolly Bean with the help of a friend. I was stumped for names, and I was trying to think of something to do with knitting, and I remember asking everyone, all my friends, bothering them about it, and one very special friend thought of Woolly Bean because of my son Felix, us calling him Bean, and Woolly, of course, just because of the wool. So, and then it's changed into a project bag company. So I learned that I wanted to knit for myself, which I don't think is selfish, because, you only have so much time in a day, and I couldn't keep up with knitting for other people and for myself. So that's how my company, I say my husband's starting to he's getting a little bit involved, because there's some parts of the business side of it I'm not so good at. I'm just more of a creative mind, I guess. I would rather not think about all the other stuff. The marketing I'm okay with, and I love just take pictures with my phone and edit them, and that's how, I love that part of it, but I don't like figuring out the cost of stuff, and the cost of how much do I actually make on each bag, or recently was approached with the idea of selling wholesale, and we've been talking about maybe doing what do you call those, not an art fair, craft fair, and how that all works. And I was like, I don't know, I just want to sew, I just want to knit. I don't want to think about if it actually is worth it or not. I mean, I want it to be worth it, but anyways. So yeah, I think that's it for an intro. A friend took my kids again today, so I'm home alone, and this is kind of last minute, so I just kind of grabbed everything, and it's all around me, and I'm in my sewing studio downstairs because the light was good. I do have like a light right here, and I'm not used to it, so if I'm distracted or looking in weird directions, I apologize. And I'm going to check the settings on my camera before I do the next segment because I want to make sure it's not autofocusing too much where it is going to be distracting to anyone. So, all right, let's get started. Bows, finished objects. I have two. I actually have some. One being my weekender. Let's see, I'm sitting down, so I don't know how I'm going to do this to show you. So this is my weekender. It has like a high-low hem, and this was not intentional, but we're going to pretend that it was. Oops, blurry. But my sleeves, I apparently have long arms because I followed the directions to a T. I blocked them, and they're like an inch short, but I just recently got this super cute little I don't know if you say mantra bracelet. It says one day at a time. And so I've been wearing it a lot. And so I kind of like that because I find when I cook and stuff, I always do pull my sleeves up a little bit anyways. So I don't really mind that the sleeves are kind of short. And especially for the fit, I think, because it had like the body is nice and boxy and loose and not like hugging me at all. I love the neckline. Like I think it's flattering and comfortable. I like that I don't have to worry about like bending down and showing any boobies. And then I like the detail on the sleeve. But I used Stroll Tweed in Flagstone Heather, I think. They're darker gray. It's like a medium gray. In the tweeds. Yeah, Stroll Tweed. And then I don't remember what the lighter color gray was. Dove Heather, I think. Dove Heather and Flagstone Heather. Stroll Tweed, held double. And you do have to account for, like, the pattern calls for technically worsted weight. And so, like, this, I think this comes out more like a DK. And so it's slightly more, I don't know, I just feel like it's smaller than it would be. And I did not do gauge. Obviously you're supposed to, but I really wasn't worried about it. I did a small, and yeah, I love, love, love the feel of this yarn though. Like, it is not itchy at all. And I have a lot of yarn. This is from Knit Picks. I have a lot of yarn. I mostly buy from Knit Picks. And for me, I just can't beat the value. Like, I really want to support a lot of the indie dyers. But a lot of their taste isn't the same as mine. I prefer, it makes me self-conscious when I keep noticing I'm saying, but I prefer solids or tonals or, I don't know, more neutrals. I love color, but I just definitely lean toward neutrals. But I love color that are like, that's deep and rich. I don't like a lot of color mixed. I just don't. So, yeah. And for me to knit sweaters, especially when I'm learning, like, I've learned a lot from this one about, because when I was knitting the sleeve the first time, I knit it and it was really tight, and I got really worried about it. And especially, and even this top, I was like, it's too small. I should have knitted medium. Like, oh my goodness. And typically I wear a small in most like store-bought clothes, and so I was confused by that. I don't know. Yeah. And then this, I don't mind it for this sweater, the length of the sleeves, but for others, especially if it's something where I'm gonna, like, this I would wear alone, like I am, like with jeans, or just as I would in, like, indoors. But for a sweater that I want to wear out, like maybe more of a coat sweater or something over an outer layer, I guess you would say, I'm definitely going to want the sleeves to make sure they're longer. So I just have to remember that I have monkey arms. I didn't know that. Let's see. So that's my 1FO, my weekender sweater pattern, I should say. I'll put it here, but by Andrea Mallory. And I think I want to make probably 2 more. Like not right away because I feel like I have so many things that I'm on my docket to knit, but I want to knit one in a solid, and I would really like one in the original yarn that she calls for, which I've only used that yarn one time for mittens. Okay, my kids are on my iPad, sorry. And it's really squishy, and I think that would be really comfortable. But I don't, like I would like one in that yarn. I don't know what color. But then I'd like another, probably in stroll tweed again, but slightly more, maybe not, maybe they fit like this. I don't know, but I want a couple more. And that's when I think someone said on one of my, commented on a post where I said something about that, about knitting something again. Like, that's when you know it's a good pattern. But let's see, she calls for, in the pattern, I'm sure it's Brooklyn tweed, because it's always Brooklyn tweed. Not that that's bad, it's just, I'm feeling like it's expensive. Shelter, yeah, Brooklyn tweed shelter. Which is, it's got such, what's that called, woolen spun, and it's got like a really neat loftiness to it, but I wouldn't want it for that for everything. So anyways, yeah, my weekend, very happy with it. And my second FO is another pattern by Andrea Mallory. So I'm kind of joining Stacy from Stress Nuts in her, unintentionally, I didn't really think about it, but she's doing a year of Andrea Mallory, and starting from July till the next July, every month she's casting on one of Andrea Mallory's patterns because she just loves her as a designer. And when I was watching her podcast and her saying that, I was like, I have right now 2 things on the needles, and then in my queue, like 3 more things. So I don't know that I'll have a full year, but yeah, I have a lot of patterns by Andrea that are things that I've been wanting to knit. So I did post, if you follow me on Instagram, I did post a finished picture of this on, and this is embarrassing. So first sweater that I've made for myself, I've knit, I don't know, maybe 10 baby sweaters, maybe not that much, but probably. I've knit a lot of small sweaters, especially the antler pattern by Tin Can Knits. I've knit that at least 4 times. Yeah. So I'm familiar with sweater construction, but I just never knit one personally for my body. So that was like the first time. And kids are so different because you kind of like, it can be a little bit big because they're going to grow into it, or if it's a little bit small, give it to the younger kid. Like, it's not an issue. But to knit something for yourself, it was said like, it's a big deal to me. So this is also my first shawl, and I used from Knit Picks their Simply Wool. This was in Winkle. I think, I don't remember the needle size that I use now, but it's an asymmetrical shawl, which this sounds silly. I didn't really notice. I didn't really realize that. I mean, I did. I saw the picture of it and I recognized the look of the shawl, but as far as wearing it, I've never worn a shawl. I've worn cowls a lot, and I've worn like, what are those, like, not silk scarves, but this is like pants, but like something like this, like more material. This is a jumper. I've got like a bag of stuff I've got to mend, but you know, like a thinner, lighter, those kind of scarves you can just kind of wrap around. And but I've never knit a shawl, and I know a lot of knitters do, like it's a craze among us, and I get it now. Like after knitting the first one and then wearing it, I was like, I love this. 1, I'm always cold, and then 2, it just added something I don't know, it's an accessory and it was exciting to have something like homemade. So, but I had to look up how to wear it because I was like, when it's asymmetrical, like how do you, because if it's a triangle, I just figured, you'd wear it like that. Then you could wrap it around, which you still obviously could with this, but I didn't know. And then Andrea, she has like all these in her picture, she has like over an arm and I'm not really sure. Um, Again, I don't know what yarn she called for. I'll look it up. But I knit it, like I said, with Knit Picks Simply Wool in Winkle, and I did not do a swatch. I did not gauge. So maybe this is a lesson because all my things I'm like, it didn't come out like it. But I feel like this is smaller. So Liberated, I don't know her name. That's her account on Instagram. She knit this beautiful like creamy one and it looks a lot bigger than mine. And I don't know if she made a modification or something, but so yeah, I'm sorry. Hoarfrost is the name of the pattern by Andrea Mallory, and she calls, oh no, it's not, okay, so the yarn that she suggests is Lakes Yarn and Fiber Targhee Worsted, and says that you'll need 2 skeins, and then it's knit on a size 8 needle, circular. So it says finished measurements wingspan 70 inches. I guess I didn't even check that. Let's see. Oh, I got tape. Checking it live. 70 inches. I doubt this is 70 inches because isn't. So from one corner. No. No, mine's only 58. Okay, so that's weird. I don't know why. The one thing I will say, and someone else that made this commented this, on the bottom edge, my I-cord is very elastic, but on the top edge, and I'm not sure why, my I-cord is not elastic. Like it's just, I feel like this light's not right. Hold on. It's just in my face. It just doesn't on the top. So when I blocked it, I couldn't get the top to stretch out like, but again, so that's when I wore it, I felt a little, and like the lace is so pretty. It is, and then this, I love, okay, so there's like this ribbed kind of texture on this side, but the wrong side is so pretty. So it's like it doesn't even matter which side shows. But I found myself, I was like, it just got to, woo, flash my belly. It got to where I was like, just kind of throwing it on, like when I wore it that day. Like I didn't even care how I looked in the back. I was just like, throw it on, go, and then I was that day sitting down a lot and taking notes, and I I just don't know how to wear them. But if I'm just at home, I think it's more or less like if I'm taking a picture of it, then I wouldn't know what to do, like how to style it, I guess. But wearing it, see, now that I know that it's so much shorter, I feel like kind of sad. I don't know why mine is so much smaller. But this was super nice to do, and I was taking notes and just having this like wrapped around me. It's like I finally get why wearing a shawl feels so dang good. So yeah, very happy with it. But now I know why. And I think in one of her pictures, she has it where she's got it and she wears it tied around. And I was like, oh, I'd like to do that. And now, but then I thought, mine is too short. Like I know I'm not a big across the chest. So I don't know what the problem is here, but mine's a good 10 inches shorter. I don't know why, because I follow the directions to a T. But yeah, our fresh shawl finished, and I'm happy with it. And I would knit this again, but I would choose a different yarn because I think this is a very rustic yarn and a bit scratchy. And I did treat it with conditioner. I did a soak and then I treated it with conditioner another time. I blocked it twice just to give it a little softer feel. But I think I would like to do it in something, like have it be just slightly bigger and yeah, I don't know. But maybe, so, okay, so anyone watching, maybe you have an idea as to why mine came out smaller compared to what the pattern says. Aside from if it's, maybe I just need to do gauge. Maybe I should have knit it with a larger needle. I didn't even like think about checking that because I was like, it's a shawl, like it's gonna fit. Like, but that's 10 inches. That's a big difference. I'll make sure, like I'm gonna lay it out and I'll measure again just to be sure. But because that seems like, I don't know, surprising. Okay, so that's my 2 FOs, and now I'm going to share some WIPs. Works in progress. I have, sorry, my cat. I threw that measuring tape over there, and now this is sushi. Oh. I think there's like several knitters that have twin cats. She's not, we've had about a year. A friend found her in a tree. She's got like beautiful blue eyes. Well, she's not very lovely, but I love her. She's kind of crazy. She's a little bit like a dog, and I'm not a dog person, so it's kind of nice having a pet that's a little bit of both. Works in progress. Okay, so mostly my works in progress right now. Oh, I don't have one of them with me. Well, it's not, I feel like I haven't made any progress on it. Let's see. My Chestnut Cardigan by Pam Allen. I'll put it here. I have been working on it, but I noticed I had laid it out because, and to me it's so interesting how sweater construction can be so different depending on, you know, top down, top or bottom up, and then the sleeves or section seamed, you know, it's kind of crazy. But you knit the front, it's a cardigan, so it's open, no buttons, and you knit these once you get to the arms, the armpits. That sounds weird. Once you get to the armpits, I don't know why I'm like in this mood. Okay. The panels here are knit separately, and then the back is knit separately. So I've knit the right panel, and then I'm supposed to make the left match the right. Well, I realized that I like started off on a wrong row when I had done it before. So I had to frog that front section, and then I'm re-knitting it. So I'm like right at the point where I'm trying to, and it says to end on the same row, end on the same wrong side row, and then you pick up the back and knit the back. But this is what's weird to me, is then you just do a 3 needle bind off. So I don't really know why it matters if you end on the same row. Like if it's one row off. So I'm not really worried about that. Again, that sweater I did not check gauge, but I'm knitting it oversized, so I'm not too worried because I wanted it to be real, and it has a lot of ease. And I think that's why, if I remember that, that's why I didn't, this had 10 inches of positive ease, which is why I did not do a gauge swatch, because I was just like, with that much ease, it's gonna fit. But I didn't take into account the difference of whatever. Anyways, I talked about that before. Okay, works in progress. So that chestnut cardigan I left upstairs, but it's the same. It's nothing, there's nothing new to see on it. I've just been knitting on my socks a little bit because I have my one sweater weather sock, and sweater weather is here, guys. It's in the 50s today, or maybe it's in the 60s, but tomorrow's in the 50s and rainy, and I have like one pair of, sushi, stop. I have one pair of the simple like house slippers that my knitting mom actually made them for herself, and then I stole them from her. I asked her for them. Like, you made them for everybody else. Can I have those? And so she kindly gave them to me because I made myself a pair, but they wore out really quick. And anyways, but my feet get so cold. We have wood and tile floors upstairs mostly, and only 2 rooms have carpets, our sunroom and then my girls' room. And so I want to wear socks, and I don't know, I feel a little funny, like in homes, maybe you guys can share this too. Those of you that are sock knitters, do your socks get really like wearing them around the house? My one pair that of those house slippers that I made, they wore out so quick. Like, I think it was within a year, and I got a hole in the heel. And I know, I mean, I could fix it, but they weren't my favorite that I'd made. Like, it was, I don't know. So I just didn't fix those. But I don't know, socks, like, you go through a lot of work to make, especially when you're first starting out and you only have so many pairs. And like, this one's so pretty, like I'm almost scared to wear it. So I got this one. And then I'm really, really happy with, because this was my first sock I ever knit. And so when I first started out on it, I was kind of going slow because I was learning basically the construction of a sock and how it was supposed to fit my foot the best way. And I went with the biggest size. I think it's 72 stitches. And now that it's blocked, I'm pretty sure I could have gone down. Like, I could have gone to 68. Or I think that's what the smaller one was. But maybe not. I mean, it fits. I don't know how to shake it. It fits really nice, like very comfortably, and I don't think I would want it. But if it stretches out after I wear it, I don't know. I think that's what I've heard some people say it happens. But I think I'm a bit of a tight knitter. I didn't really know that I was, so, but I think I am. But anyways, work in progress, work in progress. The second sock is coming along super fast. So the back, the back of it, this like runs up the heel. And then the front of it. And I did the German twisted cast on that she recommends. But the one thing I did a little different this time is I held 2 needles together. I didn't do it with the first sock, and it goes on fine. And I don't really know why I did it on this one, but I just thought I should. But look at the difference between unblocked and blocked. Like, anyways, so this one's coming along nicely. So it shouldn't be too long, and then I've got like this left over and then a whole nother skein. So, oh yeah, knit picks. Apparently knit only with knit picks yarn. No, Stroll Tweed Oyster Heather. And yeah, so I have a whole nother skein of this, and then I'm just using leftover little for the heel and toe Wellies Heather, same thing, knit pick Stroll Tweed. So it's the little black tweed one, which I love this one. I think I want to knit like a whole sock. Sushi, there's a cord hanging down and she wants to grab it, but I think I want to knit a whole sock out of this, like just dark, just like a vanilla black sock. Okay, so that's that one. And then, oh, I didn't even say who it was by. Awesome Socks, Sweater Weather Socks. I'll put it here, Sweater Weather by Tabby. I'm trying to think of what her last name is. Gandhi? I think so, but Tabby from Hey Sister Podcast, Hey Sister Yarn Co. On Instagram, she is Awesome Socks, and she is laid up and recovering from some burns, which like breaks my heart. But she has the sweetest little family and the sweetest little boy she takes pictures of and gives me baby fever. But yeah, so that's her sock pattern. And then this one is my second whip, and this I have gotten quite a bit because I think I had just barely had the cuff done, and then I had like you know, maybe like one of these done. So I've gotten, this is why you guys use progress keepers. I was like, what in the world? Why do you need a progress keeper? Just drop my yarn. Oh, but maybe I'll have that just for you guys. I'm like, this is where I was last time. This is where I'm at now. But I think it's so pretty and it's super easy. I had 2 skeins of this. This is from a wooden nest, and it is, I don't remember the mix. A merino mix, a sock yarn, but she knit it or dyed it, and I love, like, she's one that I'm probably gonna keep for sure. I mean, not probably. I will keep buying yarn from her, even though, you know, it's more expensive than Knit Picks. She picks out really nice bases, but then just the color, like, this is me. This is just so me. But it's avocado, so usually like a pink. And I know I've talked about this a lot, so just get over it because I love it. Avocado, and then she did over-dyed with iron, and it's this beautiful grayish taupe pink peach. Sushi Michelle. She's got herself wrapped in this cord. Get out of there. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I was getting texts on my phone, but it was confusing me. I thought the video had stopped. So this pattern is the Fur Sock by Melody Hoffman, Bee Mandarines, and I'll put her information there. And I did the largest size. I wear in typically a size 8 shoe, but my foot goes as small. I mean, my left foot's like a 7.5. My right foot's like a 7.5. Do not mess that yarn. She's being very bad. Stop. But I have a very wide foot, so I just always feel like I need to knit the largest size because I don't want to have stretch stitches. I don't know. So that's my second sock. This one, the pattern is so easy to memorize that I just kind of like pick this up and work on it when I don't have, like, I can't think about what I'm doing. But I'm less like motivated to work on this one right now just because this is the number 1 sock for the set, and I really want to get the sweater weather one done so I can actually wear a pair. But I think that's it. Which for me, I used to be completely monogamous when I would knit, and I would only have one thing. But then once I started knitting other things, like I would knit a baby hat, so I would knit one baby hat. But now I'm knitting, you know, shawls and sweaters and socks, and I don't really need multiple sock projects, but I have them. So I'd like to always have like sock projects, and probably now a shawl, and then I'm super into sweaters. During the summer I was really motivated, but like anyone that's watched the podcast before, I've dealt a lot this year for the first time with anxiety and depression, and I've been doing a lot of my own research now because if you've dealt with that, I'm sure you found that the medical system is very lacking in, I don't know, answers, and they just like to give you a pill and then join you right. So I wanted to find out why suddenly am I having anxiety and depression and severe panic attacks. And for the medicine they first put me on, I couldn't knit for like, I don't know, 2 months or something. It was hard. I would just sit there like a zombie, and I hated that. I hated it. So I've been doing a lot of research, and I think I have possibly adrenal fatigue. I think I was overstressed and wore my body out. I had 3 kids really close together. Like, their ages are Felix, my oldest, is 5. He'll be 6 in January. Penelope just turned 4. And Elsie will be 3 in March. So they're 21 months apart. The first 2 and the second 2 are 17 months apart. So I had them pretty quickly, and then I don't know. I stay so busy. Like, I have a really bad habit of picking up a lot of hobbies now, like ever since I've had kids. Gardening, letter writing, learning calligraphy, bullet journaling. I read a lot. For our meetings, there's a lot of study involved. I sew clothes for my girls. I've started sewing clothes for myself. And I've got the pattern cut out. I'll say that. That's as far as I've got. I was hoping to have something to show you for sewing, but I don't have anything. But that's okay. And what else? Oh, so I was talking about my health. Yeah. So I'm taking lots of supplements, but I'm trying to treat myself with food. So right now I'm all paleo. And then I'm going to try a keto diet because it's supposed to help with stress. But I'm journaling and keeping track of what I'm doing, getting at least 8 hours of sleep every night, going to bed early, and then getting up early so I have time for myself in the morning. And I've been doing a lot better. I'm still on my medication from my doctor, but on lower doses, and yeah, I have to stay off sugar and gluten, and that seems to make a difference. And I have a lot of digestive issues, and drinking hot lemon water first thing in the morning has made a huge difference. So I bought myself an electric tea kettle. I have a bowl of lemons. I think in the intro I'm going to show like a little clip of my cart that I have set up because it's my study corner. So in the morning, 5:30 in the morning before my kids are up, I come down, turn my little tea kettle on, have lemon water, and sit and knit or study. And yeah, it's really nice. Really, really nice. So, okay, that's the end of works in progress. I'm going to share a little bit of just like plans, dream knitting, and then a little bit of share the fabric from that's upcoming for November. So dream knitting. I'm not even sure. I got this cabinet. The house we bought, it's an older house. We've lived here 2 years now, and there was an old cabinet in another room. We had kind of taken it off the wall and put it in a pile to sell. And then I realized like I had these really cute handles. They're like porcelain painted flowers, and I was like, I'm gonna get that cabinet. I'm gonna paint it, and then it's gonna be like it's perfect. The depth is like this much, so it's like it will fit my yarn perfectly. So I took it and I sanded it myself. I painted it probably horribly, but I love it. And my I don't know what to call him. He's like a dad to me, but we call him our Papa Dan. He's gonna help me with some. He's the grandpa for my kids. He's gonna help me get some cedar to make shelves because I thought maybe the cedar would help with keeping any. I've never had moss in my bowl. I think because one time I did have like some scrap yarn, and I was like using it for something. I realized I found some spots, but never in anything new. But anyway, so he's gonna help me put some shelves in there. I'm looking this way because it's right here on the wall. And once it's all finished, I'll show you guys. I'll probably take a picture and put it on Instagram. I'm very proud of it. But I've got 3 sweater quantities, or I don't know if I'll do sweaters now that I'm on a shawl kick, but this is Wool of the Andes Knit Picks, and it's Brass Heather, and I feel like that's a pretty good, maybe not as orangey as that looks, because it is very much like just like a brass gold, and it's got, I don't know, like some flecks of other color, and I have, Sushi pulled this out of my bag, and look what she did. So that made me mad, but I've got, I think at least 11 hanks or skeins of these, and they're 110 yards. So I got this to make a sweater. I didn't have anything specific in mind. And then I have 11 in this color, Gosling. Oh, I think I showed these because I showed this on, I think maybe the second podcast because they came in the mail and I was all excited. But so I have the Gosling, which is just like this really pretty gray. I told you I like neutrals. And then I have Bouquet Heather, which is like, oh, it looks so red. It's not that red. It's got yellow and purple basically in it. Let me see if I can change the light. Nope. Oh, that's the closest it's gonna get. Anyways, so I have, yeah, a large quantity. This I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a sweater out of. I have a sweater in mind, but it only comes in a book, like the pattern. I think her name's Annie from Whistle and Thread, who I mentioned last time. She knit it, and I can't remember what it's called. I have it on my Ravelry favorites, which I don't. Oh, my phone. I'm using my phone to record this. So, anyways, I have a sweater picked out that I want to knit. I want it to be oversized. I want it to kind of button, but be able to see the shirt underneath. But the sweater has like some small detailing on it, and then like the sleeves in the pictures anyways, like they show them rolled up. And I think this would look gorgeous in that. I have a lot of gray t-shirts. I have a lot of black and white shirts, and this would be a nice color with that. So I have the sweater picked out. My issue is I have to buy the entire book to get the pattern, and right now we're trying to save money because we just went on our vacation. We were in Destin, Florida. It was our first vacation, our first, like, I have family, like that's where I was raised as a youth, like from a baby until I was 12, was in like Orlando, Florida area. So I never went to Florida for vacation, because when I go to Florida just to visit family, sushi messed this up. Sorry, it's like in front of me and I'm looking at it. But so we were in Destin, and we got there on a Sunday. We had a week. We rented not Airbnb, but VRBO, vacation rental by owner. We were super excited. We got a house with a pool for the kids, and we were 2 minutes away from the beach. And we didn't realize there was red tide. Not severe, I think, because it didn't always bother us, but when we were out by the pool, we felt like we had allergies, and we were sneezing and coughing a little bit, and our noses were running, and we got there on a Sunday night. We had basically Monday, some friends that lived in southern Florida, they came up to visit us, and that's Monday was when we found out about the hurricane coming, and we kind of were like, well, we have to wait and find out, like, because I think at that point it was a 2, and they were saying it was going to be probably a 3. And so Monday night I remember just crying and thinking, I was like, this is a vacation that we needed, and the kids, like, how, like, we were basically thinking of packing up and going home, like we didn't know what else to do. And our friends who were staying with, like, that night with us, had just come for like 2 nights, I think. They offered, well, we had friends that live in Mississippi, like right on the coast. They said that we could come over there and stay with them. And then the friends that were visiting us, they said we could go down to southern Florida, and there was a place we could stay down there. And so we ended up going with them. Thankfully, we avoided any traffic. We had to drive like 8 hours down there, which we knew was going to add to our trip home, but it ended up being amazing. Like, the house, it was her family's house, her parents' home, and it was large enough that we weren't in anyone's way, I hope, because, I mean, it's hard with kids, but they had a beautiful pool. Her sister had kids the same age as mine, and so they got to all play together, which made them, kids get so excited when there's other kids. And I got to sleep in, like, I think for the first time in at least 5 years, because I always get up with the kids because of my husband's schedule. So I slept in at least 3 or 4 mornings, and sleeping into me is like 8:30, but it was nice. It was so nice. Anyways, we had a wonderful time, and I don't remember what the point of all of that is. Oh, anyways, vacations cost a lot, and we've just had some other unexpected expenses. We come back and it's freezing cold here compared to what we were experiencing down there. Our heater's not working. We had to buy a lot of firewood. We thankfully have a fireplace. And yeah, so we have some expenses. So I was supposed to take October off and recoup and rest and just knit and not be stressed about working. But I think I am going to throw myself a little bit into prepping for work, because you got to make up some extra stuff. But my point of that is that I wanted to buy that pattern, but I had to buy a whole book to get the pattern. And I think I'm like, okay, I've got other things I can knit. I've got a lot of great patterns. Like, my iPad is so full of patterns that I have plenty. But right now I have no idea what I want to knit with this. Like, I don't know if I want to knit a shawl or a cowl or a sweater. So I don't know. Okay, so that's that as far as dream knitting, because I don't really have anything specifically planned. I'm just kind of in that uninspired but overly inspired setting mood. But for the shop, I guess I can do a second segment for the shop. So I'll pause this and then share some shop news. On my Instagram, if you follow me, you've seen a lot of the fabric that I just got in. I still have all of my old favorites. I don't know where they are right now. Oh, right beside me. But I got a lot of new stuff in, so I am really excited about, I'm going to make up for November for the next shop update, because a lot of my business is repeat business. So for those that already have the older patterns, I want to give them something new. So I've got lots of gorgeous options. Like, you can see the metallic. Like, this is one of my favorites. I definitely want to make myself a bag out of this, because again, I ended up selling my small blue bag that I was like, I'm keeping this for myself as a sock project bag. I ended up selling it. So I have to make myself a new sock bag. I still only have just my one little green bag, which sounds bad, but now I'm kind of tired of this print. So I don't know if, that would be weird. I was like, what if I sold this as like a used, I mean, it's still nice, but like washed it, cleaned it up, and then like sold it at half price. I don't know. And made myself something new. Anyways, but I've got, I don't know how to say the company. It's a stencil by Ellen Baker, Coca-Co Limited. I want to say these are, I'm not going to say because I'm not sure and I don't want to be wrong, but anyways, this print, this is another one with metallic, which I love this, like, this is like the only pinkish color I like, and you could even argue that it's purple, but with those big metallic, like the giant circles, oh my goodness. One day I will stencil my own fabric in all my spare time. And then this one, look at that blue. I love blues, like the other one with the really geometric one that's discontinued. I was excited to find this one. So I'm going to make up a bunch of this and then probably buy a bunch more, because I don't want to, I think this is going to be a favorite. And then I'm so excited that you guys love this. So many people on Instagram were commenting that they loved the llama print. I love this llama print. Like those eyelashes and the color, and then just the natural shade behind it with the black. It's so nice. So that one's going to be fun. On the poll that I did on Instagram for zipper, bag versus drawstring, most of you wanted zipper. I was surprised. I thought that drawstring was going to be more of a poll, just because I noticed a lot of people have drawstring bags, but I'm fine with that. I love zipper bags. So I'm going to do most of these in zipper, but I will do a couple. The issue is like making them ahead of time so that I can photograph them. But then if I do a pre-order so that you can then just pick the option if you would rather a drawstring or a zipper, because I think the cost wouldn't be very much difference as far as on my end. So, but I'll make up a couple. Like I think I'm gonna do at least a couple of drawstring and a llama, because I know I have one friend at least said that she loved. Oh, excuse me. Suddenly, now I know why. Podcasters have water or tea or something. My throat is super dry. Anyways, that print, and then these I've already cut up. I do not have very much of this because Rifle Paper Company, yeah, their fabric, it ain't cheap. And so I bought limited quantities just because I didn't want to buy a bunch and then no one like it. But people love this, so I've got one of these already spoken for. But I've got this floral, and then I will have only 2 more in it. So I already have these cut out. And then I only have, I want to say 1 in this, because I only bought a half yard in this, because I wanted to buy multiple prints and have a lot of options. And so I had limited funds as far as, you know, what I could stretch to spend, because it's just me. So I cut this out, but I do have fabric left over to make some of the smaller bags. So I'll have this print available in some of the smaller prints, which I love this like darkness of the green on this. I think it's, what is this, a monstera, right? That plant. I think that's it. And then I do have, this isn't new, because I also have, well, there's another print, but I don't know where it's at. I have that mustard. I have a solid mustard canvas, but I'm not sure how I want to do it. Like, I bought it because I love the color. But I've not done, I don't do solid bags. So I had an idea, and if this is weird, tell me, but I embroider a little bit, and so I thought of doing some embroidery on it. I'm for sure going to do just like some smaller bags with this, like the mini ones, and then do like a tiny gold, you know, with the gold zipper. It'd be a cute clash, or even the black, I don't know. But I thought of doing something and then doing some like French knots or something. I don't know, just that's what I kind of want to play around with. But I love the color, so I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. So that's it for shop news. I'm gonna do, I do have one more thing. I bought this gigantic bag of lavender for a few things, because you can cook. It's organic, raw from France, certified organic, and it's for cooking, aromatics, or crafts. And I got it because of my anxiety. I wanted to throw lavender occasionally into my smoothies and stuff. I found out I do not like that. I do not like the taste of lavender in a smoothie. I love it in a tea, so I'm going to keep some for tea, but not in a smoothie. However, I've been doing research, and lavender is one of the things, of course, that like helps repel bugs. And so I'm going to make up with some of the scrap fabrics, some little, I can't say the word, sachets, little things with fabric and lavender, and probably just include them as like little free gifts, or, you know, you can add on for $1 or something. Like, I don't think they'll cost a lot to, I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to do a little extra thing. And I want to start including some notions in the shop, but I think I might get with a few other people and maybe buy some of their products and sell them like progress keepers or stitch markers, or maybe make some of my own, because I'm sure I could do it. I don't know. But that's it. That's the end of the podcast. So thanks for coming, and I will do one soon. I hopefully will have some socks done because that's all of my works in progress. Some socks, and then I'll probably have something else cast on. But thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.